Hey, just built up this Canyon Endurace CF8, not the SL. And this is a extra large in size, as you can see by the pretty tall head tube. One thing worth noting is the stack height and the head tube length on this, on their newer model, CF8, is slightly taller than the SL version. So if you're looking more for a comfort type thing, and especially if you're getting like an XL, look at like where I got like, you know, this is at the highest place you can put the bar, and look where my seat's at. For my height of 6'4" with a 35-inch inseam, it's still a pretty considerable drop. I did have a cheaper bike before. There was an XXL, but its sizing is more very similar to this. That was a Polygon Stratus 5 or something like that. I had to use a riser stem and a gravel bar from Surly that had like a 2-inch rise. And I put these two side by side. This bar stock is at the same height as that. So this is, compared to most other bikes, you're getting much taller here, but it honestly, for my height, it's not tall enough. One thing I noticed, this carbon post is a 350. I put it at the max extension, so you can kind of see where it's at. Again, I have 35-inch inseam. I put it at the max, and it's right where I need it. So kind of weird because their sizing guide, kind of lists like 6'3" and up for this XL. But, if I'm 6'4" and it's 1 inch lower as their minimum for this, they obviously didn't think that through. So, seat posts aren't the most expensive thing in the world. And, this does work. It's right at the max, but it is within the max extension. So it is working for me. But if you're a 6'5", or you have a longer inseam than I, like a 36, you might run into problems. The packaging is the best I've ever seen on a bike. I buy a lot of bikes typically online. This is bar none the best. The box is huge. It was just, everything was wrapped like crazy well, and extra cardboard everywhere. I bought, like, from Trek, I bought a frame, and that came in a box once before, and it was terrible. There's no packaging. The hanger was actually cut through the box and scuffed up, and it was just terrible. So hats off to Canyon. They really got that. And the bike itself is gorgeous. It's immaculate. It's got these top tube bolt-on bag mounts. So I'm actually going to do a hacked version. I bought a bag, and I'm going to just put in a little plastic piece and drill some holes through that, so I can, at the right spot with this, and then get some very tiny washers to put through this and this to hold that down. I saw some other folks doing that online, and it seems like a cheaper alternative because most of them are like $60 for a decent one with a bolt on. So I'm just getting one that has Velcro, but I'm going to convert it to a bolt-on version. I think it'll work out just fine. And I have some bottle cages on the way. The other thing that, and this is not a specific issue to Canyon, this is just for tall people in general, where your heels, if you have size 13 feet or larger like I do, your heels are very close to this. So, it's not much you can do other than try to find, like, maybe there's a pedal where you can get, but you'll have to pay through the nose, the longer spindle, to get it out a little bit more. But it works. It is not actually hitting it, but there might be some minor rub, depending on how I'm finessing it when I'm climbing or whatnot. The wheels, some people don't like the Fulcrum 900 disc brake compatible ones, but they seem fine. They're pretty light. It's like, obviously, there's some that are far lighter. That might be something I get, is like a 50 millimeter deep carbon one to match the carbon frame. eventually. But yeah, these are cool for now. I'll wear them in. The tires are not tubeless compatible. I think the rims are, but it's fine. I like kind of prefer the tubes anyway. Um, on my mountain bike, obviously tubeless. Oh, and the seat that came with it. This is the stock seat here. I rode it around. It's terrible. Like this little ridge cuts in. You can just feel it. It's stiff and it's terrible. So I actually this is from a Stump Jumper FSR, a couple years old that I was running on my other road bike that I'm going to sell. And this is pretty comfortable seat, and so I swapped this back and rode it around, and it's like, yeah, it's back, it's good. So yeah, Canyon. I don't know what you're doing with this seat, but anyway, I guess this is the new hot style these years or these days. Anyway, hope that helps somebody that's tall and looking to get this bike. It's a fantastic deal, full ultegra, full carbon. The retail is like $2,500.